Hi everyone, if you want to learn how I did these beautiful tortoise nails, keep watching. So starting off with cuticle prep, I'm going in with my cuticle softener on all of my nails. I'm just applying a small dot of this and then rubbing it in to make sure it's covering all of my cuticles. Then I'm going to go in with my cuticle pusher and I'm just going to gently push back the cuticles. Now this shouldn't hurt, it's just to push them back a little bit before we cut off the excess dead skin. And then I go in with my cuticle nippers, and like I said before, I'm only cutting off the dead skin. You don't want to be cut or bleeding, so you have to be very careful with this step. As you can see, I'm only cutting off the most minimal amount of skin. Then I'm going in with a buffing block and I'm just buffing the surface of my natural nails just to create some texture and remove the shine before we go in with the prep. Next, I'm going in with rubbing alcohol. And I'm just going to go in with a lint-free wipe and wipe the surface of my nails to remove all of that dust we just filed off. I'm going in with my Jello peel off base gel, and I am applying 2 layers of this, and make sure to cure it in between each of the layers. So what is a peel off base gel? So basically it's just this layer that you put underneath the extensions and it makes it easy to pop off the nails. So this means it's not going to last as long as if you just did regular nails with a regular prep. This is just if you want to switch out your nails often, or someone like me who often changes my nails for content. I like to use this peel off base gel because I can easily just pop them off after. So after that's fully cured, I'm going in with my extend gel. So I'm just dipping it in, and as you can see here, I'm just putting a little layer on the nails before I apply the extension, and this helps to adhere evenly, as you can see. And once that's secured, I just put it under my flash cure lamp and cure that fully. And once I complete that on all of my nails, I do cure it for 60 seconds in the big LED lamp. And a tip I like to use is going in with rubbing alcohol on the nail. This is just for any excess gel that may have spilled or cured. I use this in between, and that really helps me clean it up. Now when you're doing this, you want to make sure you're only using a little bit of gel. Now the consistency of this extend gel is different than the bottle, so I don't need to use as much, but you don't want to be using too much, otherwise it's just going to spill all over your fingers and it'll cure on your fingers, which is not the best. So you want to use a smaller amount of this gel, but if you use not enough, then you won't be able to cover the nail fully. So you have to practice and play around with what works best for you until you find what's the perfect amount to put on the tips. Now for filing, I'm going in with this sanding band and I'm just filing off any excess gel that may have spilled onto my cuticles or cured. And I'm also doing this to seal the nails to my natural nail. And this is a really good way to prevent any lifting. You want to make sure that you're angling your drill bit just like this to avoid cutting your cuticles. And if you are a beginner, make sure that you're starting at a very low speed. After I'm done that, I go in with my favorite cuticle bit, and I'm using this just to clean up my cuticle area again, and this really helps give it a very clean look. Then I'll be going in with my 100-180 grit nail file, and these nails are already shaped, but I just like to debulk the sides just a little bit and the top. and you can shape to your liking. I like the square shape. And then I'm going in with my buffing block again, just to buff the surface of the nails before I go in and paint them. And I do like to use this nail dust collector to collect any of this dust so that it doesn't go in my lungs and so it doesn't create a messy workspace for me. So I go ahead and repeat that on the other side. Next, I'm going in with a brush and some acetone, and now I'm going to be sealing the cuticles. So acetone melts plastic. That's why this is such a great trick to use to create a very clean and polished cuticle look. So I'm using this on all of my nails, and I'm just rubbing in at that part of the nail just to melt it so that it blends in very well with my nails. So once that's all done, I'm going to be going in with my rubber base. So this is not a normal base coat. This is a rubber base, meaning it's a lot thicker and it's meant to add structure to the nail. Now this is optional. You can just go in with a regular base coat, or you don't even need to use base coat at all for nail extensions. But I did want to use the rubber base for this look, so I'm going in with a layer on all of my nails, and I'll just speed that up for you guys. Once that's all done, I flip over my hand for about 60 seconds to level it out, and then I cure it for 60 seconds. Next, I'm going in with my Young Nails swipe just to remove the sticky layer at the top of my nails. So for this look, you need to start off with a jelly tint. So I got this one from Kiara Sky because it's the perfect color for these tortoise nails. So as you can see, when you first apply it, it looks like a jelly. So I applied that to all of my nails. I actually ended up going in with 2 coats. It just looked more pigmented to me with 2 coats. And I didn't have a dotting tool, so this is another trick you can use if you don't have so many tools. You can use a bobby pin like me. So I'm going in with my blooming gel and applying that on top of the jelly tint after it's cured. Now, you want to use a little bit of a thinner coat with this, otherwise it will bloom too fast, basically. And I'm going to be going in with my D&D Fudgesicle brown gel and a black gel as well. And I'm basically going to be taking my dotting tool, which is my bobby pin, and I'm just creating random dots on my nail. You can use an inspo pic from Pinterest, that's what I did, or you can follow this video, or you can do it random. It really doesn't matter, because as you can see, the blooming gel will actually make it bloom and it'll all blend together very nicely. So after I apply the coat of brown, I'm going to cure it for 60 seconds in the lamp. And after that's cured, I'm going to use my swipe again because there was a little layer that needed to be wiped off. And then I'll be taking a layer of blooming gel again. And remember to be using thin layers for this. So I apply that to the nail, and then I go in with the second color, which is the black gel. And I'm basically going to be doing the exact same thing, taking the dotting tool / bobby pin and just putting even smaller dots over the dots we already created. So don't cover it completely because you want the browns to still show underneath. So just apply smaller dots of the black color and then go ahead and cure that fully. And then I just repeat that on all of my nails. Once that's all done, I'm going in with my nail file again, just very lightly to debulk any of the gel that might look a little bit bulky on the side, and just to clean up the shape and make it very sharp and crisp. And that is it, you guys. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I can't wait to see what you guys create next. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.